Hey everybody, Sean Hansel here with Get Lean in 12, and inside this short video I'm going to talk about how you can gain muscle and burn belly fat at the same exact time. And this is a 3-part series on the great debate, fasted or fed exercise, which is really better. So in part 1 I talked about exactly how to eat before and after exercise if your goal is to lose belly fat, and then part 2 we did something totally different. We talked about how to eat before and after exercise if your goal is to gain muscle. Now before I dive into this exercise schedule that shows you how to do both at the same time, to gain muscle and burn belly fat at the same time. If you're not familiar with me, I'm a 45-year-old grandfather to 3 beautiful grandkids, and I'm a stubborn fat expert who's been in the health and fitness industry over 20 years. In the last 5 years alone, my wife Karen and I have helped over 100,000 people across the globe with our products and services. So inside this video, pay close attention. I'm going to teach you how to gain muscle and burn fat at the same exact time. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to focus on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I've labeled them the word gain. So that simply means gain muscle. So these are our muscle building days. On Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, I've labeled it burn. So these are going to be the days that we want to burn belly fat. So these will be fat burning days. And the number one hormone that we want to focus on when we enter these days is we want to focus on insulin. So when you're going into a workout on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, you'll see the arrow is going up because you want insulin high on those days, because insulin is very anabolic. It's your body's number one storage hormone, so it delivers amino acids, nutrients, and carbohydrates to your muscle tissue to help you gain muscle. Now, if we look at insulin on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, we have the exact opposite. The arrow is going down because we want to keep insulin very low. You see, if you enter a workout with insulin levels elevated, it's great for gaining muscle because it's very anabolic, but when insulin levels are elevated, your body can't release stubborn fat cells. So it's impossible to burn belly fat when insulin is elevated. So on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, we want to make sure we're keeping insulin low. So how do we do this? Well, the first thing to do in order to raise insulin before a workout is to have 15 to 20 grams of protein and amino acids on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Now, we're supplying the muscle tissue with the amino acids it needs during the workout so you can gain muscle. Now, if you look, the exact opposite happens on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. You're going to enter the workout in a fasted state. That way, insulin levels are low and your body's in a perfect fat-burning environment. There's 2 ways to do this. The first one is in the morning on an empty stomach after waking up. Now, have a bunch of water, obviously, because you're dehydrated from breathing all night. But your energy, your glycogen, is the stored energy in your muscles and liver tissue, is very low or depleted when you wake up, so your body's in a perfect fat-burning environment. Now, if you exercise later in the day, that's okay. I just recommend that you wait about 3 to 5 hours after a meal before you exercise. Now you'll absorb that meal, you'll absorb some energy from that meal, digest it, and then as you enter the workout 3 to 5 hours later, you've given your body enough time to let insulin levels lower so that you enter the body or enter the workout in a fat-burning environment. Now, if we look at these days too, we usually talk about carbs up and carbs down. So it's very simple if you look at the carb column here. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, the carbs are going to be up. So they're going to be up. And particularly, the 3-to-1 ratio of carbs to protein post-workout are very important. So on muscle building days, after your workout, as fast as possible, you want to have a 3-to-1 ratio of carbs to protein. So for example, if you're a woman, you'd have about 20 grams of protein and about 60 grams of carbs. If you're a guy, you'd have 30 to 40 grams of protein and about 90 to 120 grams of carbohydrates. Now, most people are afraid of eating this many carbs, and they think that carbs make them fat, but this is a myth. Remember, after a weight training workout, your muscles are like a sponge that's been wrung dry. So they want to soak up a lot of nutrients. In the science world, we call this nutrient partitioning. So your body is going to absorb all those extra carbs and protein, and you don't have to worry about any of them going to fat spillover within the hour after your workout, because metabolic rate is elevated and your body's ready to suck up those nutrients. Now, on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, you just want to have about 20 to 40 grams of protein post-workout because we're keeping carbs down. We want to keep them low. We want to keep them about below 50 grams a day on your fat-burning days. So Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, we're going to have under 50 grams of carbs. Now, in order to achieve this goal, it's important on those days that you up your protein and your friendly fat intake, because you have to replace the carbs that are missing. Otherwise, you're going to feel like crap. Now, on Sunday, you'll notice I just put the word flex. So if you've been good the entire week and you follow this schedule to a T, then you get a cheat day. If you've been about 80% consistent, I only recommend that you have a cheat meal. But the bottom line is Sunday should be a flexible day that you adjust to based on how consistent you were the other days of the week. Now, When you're exercising, you have to make sure that you're using the right type of exercise based on your current hormonal condition. And that's why I've designed a 12-minute metabolic trick that's specifically designed for the declining hormones of people over 35 years old. And when you do this 12-minute trick the right way, you can actually burn more belly fat than an entire hour of traditional exercise. And what's even better is this 12-minute trick will actually reactivate fat loss hormones and youth hormones that are declining rapidly as you get over 40 years old. Somewhere around this video, you'll see a link to click or tap, and I'm going to give you free instant access to this 12-minute metabolic trick. My wife and I have used this for the last 5 years to help over 100,000 people. So thanks for watching this, and keep going strong.